Yeah, yeah, we are.
Like that, telling people that phony water is back. Like that, telling people that phony water is back. Like that.
You are tuned into the W Show on Sideline Sports Talk Network and 100.1 FM, Kansas City. Live from Radio Row in San Francisco, California. Brought to you by Gates Barbecue, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Dillard Zona Rosa, the Soul of Santa, Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services, and Wood Nissan.
All right, back here live on Radio Row. We had some great guests today, and we have one that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Former NFL QB Ryan Leaf is on with us.
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's been an eventful couple days here at the Radio Row for me. So
What day did you get here?
got here Sunday,
Okay.
but I played golf Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Only if we had some time to play golf.
There's some really good golf courses here. And then I was on Radio Row yesterday and today. And then tomorrow we'll bookend it with another little golf session and then fly home. Back to cold.
So we've been asking pretty much everyone that's come on with us, does this feel like a Super Bowl? Like when you came in on the flight, did it feel like you were at Super Bowl City?
You know, it's interesting. Super Bowl cities in terms of hosting and where things are placed. You know, you have the media events here. You do a lot of things. The opening night was in San Jose. The game's down in Santa Clara. So it's a little odd. When you look at where it will be next year in LA, I think you'll probably get a little bit more of that feeling where everything's kind of enclosed and stuff like that. But, you know, this is something that happens every year. It's the biggest media event every single year, and it makes for a great opportunity to catch up with old friends, see new people, and get to celebrate the greatest game that there is.
And you mentioned media. You're doing a lot of media, and you're currently doing your NFL analyst at Believe.
Yeah, well, Believe goes back a long time with me. Me and Brian Houston Stan, we were sitting in the Sweet Greens on Sunset Boulevard in LA when we devised this podcast network, essentially. And I kind of stay away from the day-to-day when they want me to do stuff. Brian has built that thing into a monster. And I spend a lot of my time with our, my other broadcasting partners, the CW and Westwood One and Sirius XM NFL Radio. And, I just try to stay busy in the game.
Right.
And then when I'm outside that, really trying to give back to my former peers, my NFL brotherhood who are struggling after the game.
And talk about the recovery playbook.
Well, that's kind of the bigger part of it. I built a relationship with the Menninger Clinic about 4 years ago, and they went into a relationship with the NFLPA, and it's a state-of-the-art psychiatric and substance use disorder facility in Houston, Texas. Yeah. And it's unbelievable. The lead doctor and executive director, Daryl Shorter, is my co-host. You guys remember the Key and Peele skit back in the day where one was Obama and the other one like translated for Obama?
Yeah.
That's what this podcast is. Okay? So you have this doctor who is talking in all medical and scientific terms about addiction and recovery and everything. Right. And then you got my ass there sitting there, translating in layman's terms what it's all about. I love him to death. He is a smart individual. And so the Menninger Clinic, the clinic went into a relationship with the NFLPA, which is our union. And so when I'm down there quarterly working, there'll be anywhere from 8 to 12 former NFL guys there. And that's a peer-to-peer model, and to show them they're not alone. And then there's a possible life and hope after this, because I'm a kind of a walking example of that. There's no way you would have thought 10 years ago this is where I'd be sitting with you guys, telling you the story and being where I'm at. So.
No, definitely, and we're glad you're here. Talk a little bit about that recovery process, because to say you would almost not be here, 10 years ago. Really talk about that recovery process, because even in that process, just like off season and playing in the NFL, you need that community around you, and you need people that not only believe in you, but play a hand in that.
I've surrounded myself with the right people. I think people who hold me accountable when I mess up. Just yesterday morning, there's a doctor that goes around, and he was my team doctor for the San Diego Chargers, actually. And he was, I felt very influential in what ultimately happened to Junior Seau. And I've had beef with him about it. But we knew I was going to see him. My wife and I, we talked about it all week. And we were going to take the high road. And it was the first person I saw yesterday morning on Radio Row. And it was a test.
Yeah.
And I failed miserably. I yelled at his ass.
Yeah.
And I called him a fraud. And I felt good for about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I go, what are you doing? You know, I'm still this flawed human being. And you talk about recovery, man, and trying to be better every single day. And some days you fail.
Yeah.
Miserably. And that's what I did. But it's allowed me then to immediately like make amends for it, be accountable, and then go try to be a better person.
Right.
And that's hard to do.
It is.
You know, a lot of people won't, most people won't stand up the day after being an idiot and tell everybody I was an idiot.
Yeah.
But I've learned that's the way to get back in good graces. That's the way to move on and heal. And that's what recovery is.
Definitely.
So with you standing forward on this and being accountable and being vocal and going and doing speeches, do you see a lot more players kind of come to you that need help?
It's amazing. You know what's been really amazing is I've spoken at about 78 universities for the coaches for the football programs. And when I'm calling NFL games down the line, all of a sudden I'll have a player come up to me who was at a speech at Baylor 4 years ago, and now he's 4 years in the NFL, and he's talked to me about how much that has affected him, how much forward thinking he's been around his mental health and doing things and telling people and sharing his story. Because I think everybody has a story to share. Like you could flip our seats right now, put you here in this chair, you could talk and tell us about your story because you're still here. You've overcome whatever adversity you've overcome. And it would be inspiring for me. It'd be inspiring for anybody. And everybody ought to understand that they can have a hand in saving someone's life just by sharing their story. And that's all I do. You know, it's not like I'm curing cancer or I'm building something so, scientific that will save the world. All I'm doing is saying hi. Look at them in the eye, make them feel seen, make them feel heard. And hopefully that's a difference maker in all this.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go back to the to the playing days. And especially like, earlier in your career, and not even just the playing days, because now you're calling games, you're still in and around the game. Talk about these offenses and these different offenses that these a lot of these guys, the Ben Johnsons and all of that are what style of play do you wish was kind of like the thing when you were playing?
I mean, I liked what I did in college. We were really innovative. Mike Price ran a one-back spread offense.
A lot of four wide.
And I think people thought we threw the ball all the time. We were 550 yards of total offense a game, 330 passing, 220 rushing. So we rushed the ball. I had an unbelievable running back by the name of Michael Black. 6'2", 220 out of Compton, California.
Crazy athletic.
Was a beast.
Yes.
And I loved giving him the rock and watching him roll. And that's, that would have been great to see that continue at the NFL level. I would always love to see like the blueprint of what Mike Price's offense looked like at the NFL level, where you spread teams out. And now you're starting to see that.
Definitely.
You're starting to see that a lot from these new innovative offensive coordinators, where you see one back, you see four wide receivers. Maybe they're using double tight ends. They're just doing it in a spread style, but still utilizing that ability to spread defenses out and make big plays in gaps down the field. So it's kind of been a reinvention of something I remember really well. And now watching it take place at the NFL level is fun, because when I'm analyzing or calling the game, I have a really good idea of what I'm seeing, and I can talk about it in an educated way.
And who's your favorite QB that's playing right now? What?
I'd probably say Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
I love me some Lamar. I feel like when he walked onto this, when he walked into the league, it was a special thing, and he's continued to do that. I'm really excited to see what he will be like under a new regime with a different style of offense. I'm excited for that. That's going to be a big deal. And, I think for him, that window is as wide open as it ever has been.
Yes.
And he can continue to walk through it for some time with the new regime there and what they're going to do offensively.
And we always had this conversation about just the quarterback conversation. I mean, Jalen Hurts, Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen. I want to get your take on, the offense and either running or passing or in between. Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think Jalen's an incredible quarterback. I've watched him develop since he was at Alabama. My first speech ever to a college football team was the Alabama Crimson Tide, right after they had finished runner-up in the national championship. and watched his evolution to Oklahoma, to then being the second round pick and coming through to be the starter and being a Super Bowl champion. I think he just gets better every year. I just don't know that offense was suited. It seemed very no identity, I think is the best way to put it last year.
Yeah.
Where the year before with Kellen Moore, I thought they had a real identity. They were going to run the football.
Yeah.
They were going to pound it, and they were going to allow then Jalen Hurts to be a big-time player on the perimeter and down the field with shots. And so, like, that just didn't exist last year. I'm excited to see what it will look like. Sean Mannion's smart. It's the first time he's doing it, and he's going to Philly to do it. That's a big deal.
Tough market.
My boy's from like just outside Portland, Oregon. All right, like he's small town. This is a big city. People are gonna have a lot of opinions about what his offense looks like, but I think he's really smart. And I think he's gonna hit it off really well with the guys in that offense, and I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Yeah, because I'm excited to see what really how he schemes up, and especially having Devontae as a dynamic of a receiver as he is. I'm excited to see like what he's able to dial up within that offense. Because there's too many athletes for the offense that look like how it did this year. Because it was very predictable.
Sean was really instrumental in helping Matt LaFleur this last year in Green Bay, working with the quarterbacks, and then having the quarterbacks really do a great job of getting the ball to a bunch of different receivers. Like Green Bay's receivers, it didn't matter. One game you had Antonio Wicks having a huge game, or you had Watson. It was somebody else stepping up. Tucker Kraft. Like every time it was really about someone else stepping up. So that's got to make AJ Brown feel really good because there could be, unless he's just like, I need 8 grabs every game.
Yeah.
You got to understand it's a team game, and to win, winning's the most important part of all of this, in the process.
Definitely.
Ryan, we appreciate you giving us some time today.
You bet, guys. Thanks for having me.
How can people find you?
You can get me on socials at Ryan D. Leaf. All my DMs are open for everybody. And then also, you can go to theryandleaf.com, and that will show you exactly what we're doing with our company, our speaking, in any way we can give back and help people need it.
Cool. That's Ryan Leaf. We'll have more guests coming up soon here on Radio Row.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.